clock strikes 12 and the moon burns red. Whispers rise from the sleeping dead. The air grows cold, the shadows creep, and something stirs where the lost ones sleep.
Lock your doors, keep your candles bright.
It's Powers Point after dark tonight.
Oh, hey, hey, hey. Midnight's laughing loud. Oh, hey, hey. Join the haunted crowd. Raise your glass, don't lose your head.
We dance with ghosts till the dawn turns red. Keith's in the booth with a wicked grin. Static hums as the spirits spin. Scott's voice rolls through the midnight air. Welcome, my friends, if you dare.
The bats take flight, the fog rolls strong.
The living and dead all sing along.
Oh, hey, hey, hey. Midnight's laughing loud. Oh, hey, hey. Join the haunted crowd. Pour that potion, light that flame.
It's the devil's night, we love this game. When the lights flicker and laughter fades, we rise again from the midnight shades. After dark is calling your name.
Oh, hey, hey, hey. Midnight's laughing loud. Oh, hey, hey. We're the ghostly crowd. When the candles die and the night turns blind.
When the candles die and the night turns blind, we'll haunt your dreams one laugh at a time. After dark. After dark. After dark.
When the sun dips low and the night creeps in, we crack one open, let the noise begin. Got movies to roast, got tracks to spin. If it's wild, weird, or wrong, yeah, we're all in. It's the Powers Point after dark, where the truth hits harder than a question mark. Laying down laughs, sometimes we spark. You never know what you'll hear after dark.
Halloween's not just a night. It's a season where the world reminds you it doesn't belong to you. You ever notice that when you were a kid, the weird never scared you, it excited you. You ran toward it. Now older, you feel it before you see it. You feel it in your chest, your neck, the back of your mind. And on nights like this, you realize most of the world is still pretending it isn't there. Keith's over in Toledo, calm as ever, rolling his favorite treats, probably laughing at us, who actually feel the weight of a night like this. And me, I'm here in the studio, shadows stretching, candles burning low, the soft hum of equipment like it's woodwork. Air's thick, but it isn't just smoke, it's expectation. Something's out there tonight, watching, waiting, learning. And so I thought I'd pass on a few things, rules, guidelines, call them what you want. Things you learn the hard way if you don't survive a Halloween night long enough to tell anyone. Rule 1, never, ever answer your name if it's whispered in the dark. It doesn't matter who you think's calling. And don't look toward the window if you hear a knock when no one should be there. Rule 1 is simple. Follow it, and you have a chance. Ignore it, and you might not. Rule 2, shadows aren't always shadows. The corners of the room, the edges of the street, the space just beyond the porch light. Pay attention. If it moves when you aren't moving, don't investigate ever. Rule 3, light is your friend, but not always. A single candle can show you the truth, or it can lure you into something worse. Some things only appear in the glow. Some things only appear when you think you're safe. Rule 4, if you hear footsteps behind you, keep walking. Don't turn. Don't confront it. Just keep moving. The ones that follow you aren't looking for your company. They're testing you. Rule 5. Never pick up a gift left on your doorstep. Candy, toys, small packages. It doesn't matter how innocent it looks. Some things are designed to be taken, and some things will follow you home. Rule 6. The fog is alive, not metaphorically. It will wrap around your legs, slip through your fingers, hide whatever's chasing you. If the fog rolls in, slow down, or maybe speed up. There's no right answer. Just respect it. Rule 7. Never travel alone. Not because of people, not because of traffic, because some nights the world itself conspires to separate you from anyone who could help you. And being alone, that's when they find you. Rule 8. Don't follow the light. It doesn't matter if it's a porch light, a flashlight, or a car down the road. Some lights are invitations. Some lights are lies. They all move differently than they should. And if you step toward them, you're too late. Rule 9. Don't believe the clocks. Time gets funny on nights like this. Rule 10. Don't ignore the feeling of being watched. Rule 11. Don't laugh too loud. It draws attention. Rule 12. If something whispers, come closer. Stay where you are. And the most important one, the one that applies to me as much as it applies to you, Rule 13. Always pay attention. Always. Because when you're not, that's when the dark reaches out and touches you and you don't notice. So here's the thing. Halloween isn't about candy or costumes or even being scared. It's about respect. Respect for what you don't understand, for what you can't see, for the shadows that move when your back's turned, and the whispers that come when you least expect them. And tonight, if you hear your name, if you see something move, if the air shifts like it's breathing, remember the rule. Pay attention and survive long enough to tell someone else. Welcome to Powers Point After Dark, Halloween Spooktacular. Remember, the dark isn't empty. It's just patient.
Hear ye, hear ye! Are you looking for toys? Tired of all the other stores not having the toys you want? Then come on down to Ye Olde House of Toys. Join forces with your favorite superheroes. Engage in epic wrestling matches. Or embark on thrilling space adventures with our wide selection of action figures. Collectors and enthusiasts alike will be delighted by our carefully curated assortment of toys that cater to every interest of fandom. Bring home your favorite characters and relive iconic moments from your beloved franchises with our high quality and detailed action figures. So why wait? come visit Yield House of Toys, located at 545 East 110th Avenue in Crown Point, Indiana, inside the Crown Antique Mall. Like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Yield House of Toys. Yield House of Toys, taking your toy collection to the next level.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that little intro. As I said, Keith Mackey is joining me, and he is in Toledo rolling his favorite Halloween treats. Whatever rolling means in his world, he's doing it. What's going on, brother?
Oh, nothing. I usually roll beforehand, so I don't want to be occupied when I'm trying to speak. But wow, that was some intro, buddy. That was pretty cool.
It sound okay.
Yeah,
dude, I ripped my voice apart.
Oh,
I haven't
man.
done that since like wrestling on a microphone.
That's what I was thinking, that the promo days had to have paid off right there.
Hey, I gotta say, it's good to see Ava back in the room.
It is indeed. Welcome back, Ava.
And our normal people who's here every week, Sean, Dave, and Mo. It's great to have you. And
Motivation.
Dave, we don't want to talk about crack, right? I met your
Not
new
yet.
girlfriend today, and I sent Mackie a picture of her. So, but don't get too out of hand. We do have a female in the room, so just think about that.
Yeah.
Keith, it is Halloween, man.
It is Halloween.
What's it like in Toledo, man, on this night?
My block was incredibly quiet, and I kind of wondered why. And then I remembered that anybody from my block and from my general area, they tend to drive out to other areas to go trick or treating where more people are giving away candy. So it was again fairly uneventful. I'm happy to, at least so far. Now there's a basketball hoop out in the front of the house that somebody had put out there. So there's a chance with it being Friday night that you're going to get some wired kids at some point out there, throwing the ball around and slam dunking and whatnot. But no,
house?
but it's like on the corner. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So it's not really in front of my house. It was across the street from my house. It was at the neighbor's house, and then he gave it to the people across the street from our house, and they have like a tree in the front. You know what I mean? It's whatever. It's a kind of annoying, but it ain't really. I rarely hear it when they play, but sometimes you do, and sometimes it's annoying when they're out there screaming and shit.
Hey, for everybody out there, if you know this sound, I'm about to have a toast to our friends here at the table.
Okay.
Who's come here for trick or treat.
Oh, you're really doing the toast again? You having the powers?
I am, man. I only drink it when I do the show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It kind of loosens me up a little bit. It helps my throat, believe it or not. And now I need it. So everybody out there that's listening, how do you guys celebrate Halloween? I know, Sean, I know you're out there protecting the mountains or whatever, saving the world. So how does everybody trick or treat? Do you guys have parties?
How do you celebrate it? Maybe when your children don't want to do it anymore, but like you have, you kind of want to hang on to your own traditions. See, we don't trick or treat anymore, but we definitely watch all the specials, even though we missed out on the Charlie Brown special this year, but that's because of Apple TV, like we was talking about earlier. But I think when it gets to adults, people like to have their costume parties, you know what I mean, and whatnot. Any excuse, I guess, to drink. Is this maybe the last one, kind of the last holiday you get of the year that's a little bit kind of careless before any of the family issues and all that shit start getting involved? Like, this is the last one you could really safely celebrate with your friends and nobody's going to care. You know what I mean? If you went and did the Friendsgiving thing, I'm sure people, some of the family might have something to think about that. But like, if you were like, well, I'm just going to party for Halloween, I don't think the family should have anything to get upset about. But you never know. I guess it depends on your family.
I forgot Mo's out there working too. So for those that are at work, man, we appreciate you guys. You're out there.
Mo holds it down, man. Mo
He
is
does.
the hardest working dude, among the hardest working men I've met, and I know. Mo, you hold it down, buddy. No joke.
And don't tell him I say this, Mo, but your dad's one of the hardest workers too, man. You know that. I know that. But don't tell your dad I said that because I don't need 1,000 phone calls. So, anyways, I'm
Mhm.
about to have this shot. Toast is to everybody that listens to this show, whether it's live, whether it is a replay.
Memorex.
You guys download it.
Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
Hey, oh, good, man. So, hey, welcome to the room,
Can
Chris.
you redo it? Could you redo your toast? I interrupted it like a dick. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not reading anything. So, anyways, this little shot is for everybody that's out there listening live, and for those that are listening to the replay. Does that sound okay, man?
Yeah.
So, cheers to you guys. If you guys can have a drink, if you guys can have a smoke, take it. And this one's for you guys because hold on, we got a call.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
Already, we got on the air with us Christopher Ferrone. He's just in here now. What's going on, man?
Hi, what's your name?
Scott.
Hi,
And
Scott. How you doing?
not bad. My co-host, his name's Keith.
Scott and Keith, how you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Where are you
Okay,
guys? Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from New Jersey.
From where?
New Jersey.
Where? Did you say New Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, right on, right on. Well,
So, Scott.
what brings you to the show tonight?
Okay, Scott. I went. Okay, my day. I got up in the morning, right? But I went to my day program. I don't like. You know what a day program is?
No, but go ahead, explain it.
Okay, a day program is for kids that like. When you actually go to a day program, you're going to know the peers there that solo function. Solo function.
Okay.
But I was talking to Jennifer for my day program, Scott. You know what she said to me?
No, what did it
She
say?
would she was saying to me, well she was threatening me.
It was what?
She was saying threats to me.
Threatening you?
Ah,
Yeah, she was saying if you say not nasty comments, if you say a mean thing to them again, you will get suspended. And then I wanted to say to her, does it look like I care? When Gregory got detention, did he care? No. But does it look like I care? But I really don't care if I get suspension or not. The house might care, but I don't. But the thing is that I explained to Zen the point I'd be on the phone because I have high function friends. But when I went to high school, I went to daycare with. So the youth group is, I asked my support coordinator, does the youth group have high function friends? And she said yes. But that's the point of me getting the youth group because I want more high function friends that have a high Q. Now
Okay.
I shouldn't be in a day program in a room with low function
10,
peers if I'm
9,
high
8,
if I'm high
7,
function.
6, 5, 4,
Scott?
Well, that's definitely
2,
something
1.
for the person that works with you to decide. Thank you, Christopher.
well, I don't know what happened there.
Oh,
It even had a countdown. What the heck, man?
wow.
So I apologize, Christopher, and we hope things get better. We hope you get less threats, and we appreciate you just being here. But I
Yeah,
do want
no one needs to be threatening anyone.
Keith. Can I start this over again, man?
Go ahead, buddy.
So to everybody that's out there listening live and listening to the replay, I take this shot for you guys because man, I appreciate you, and I really hope everybody enjoys this one tonight because there's been a lot of planning between Keith and myself. And cheers. I appreciate you all.
Cheers, everybody.
Ugh, God, it tastes like crap, honestly.
Well,
Oh,
it's the name that counts, right?
it's all in the name.
Yeah.
So, what else is going on, man? Did you have a lot of trick or treaters?
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't even hear any because, like I feel like the people on this block, they tend to take their kids and travel. You know what I mean? They'll
Yeah.
go like there's a couple, I don't know, a few neighboring, areas that's less inner city than the actual spot that I live in, right here, because we're like right on the edge of East Toledo, and there's like, I guess, a more suburban town and a less, you know what I'm saying, less inner city type areas around here. So within like 5-10 minutes to drive, you can definitely, get your candy load fucking way bigger than what you would get walking around East Toledo. Maybe. I don't know. See, now we do have this guy who is a friend of my wife's, or no, I'm sorry, he's a friend of my wife's because she used to work with his mother. Now he does this. He lights up the street with Christmas lights every year, and this has been like on national news every year. It's a huge, huge deal. And of course, I'm spacing out his name, but I don't know if I've ever known his name. But he does it for Halloween also, and it is amazing. I'll find a video and send it to you to where you can see this. But he starts, like I said, at Halloween, and he lights up his entire street. Like the entire street goes along with him, and it's just incredible. Like, so you can. He encourages people to bring, cameras and walk up the street, and usually when people are doing that, he'll come out of his house and throw them candy canes and stuff like that, and it's just a really selfless thing to do. And I will get his name and I'll mention it on the next show for sure. But
You,
it's again, it's an amazing thing from amazing guy to do that just from love in his heart.
you know, we were talking. You and I were talking or texting yesterday, and we talked about the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
And I told you that in this house, we start throwing up Christmas trees. So we'll probably have like one or two up tomorrow. And then after Thanksgiving, put up the other 5 or 6. And we got so many trees in here, man. I feel like I walked through a forest.
That's great. Which is, it's your prerogative. You get so many negative folks who aren't into the holidays. I remember we were talking about that, and of course, I went on to, I mean, a little bit of a spiel on you over that. I appreciate you for listening to that. But, um, you know, the people who don't get into the holidays, they tend to want to bring the other folks who maybe would be into the holidays down with them. It's just, it's inappropriate, and it's not a cool thing to do. So if, you and your wife and you guys like to start celebrating as early as you can and get the most out of it every year, man, I say more power to you. And it's
Yeah,
great because what's
that's
better
why
than being happy longer?
that's why we do it. We're not being rushed. You know, this is the
Right.
first year that Karen is retired,
Yeah.
and enjoy. She'll be able to enjoy it, man, and just take her time doing it. And
Yeah.
man, that was a weird call, wasn't it? Like
It was
it's
different.
weird,
You
weird
can't control
timing.
who calls in. You know what I mean?
Weird timing. I love phone calls, man. I love talking to everybody.
Right.
And
But somebody maybe should be monitoring Christopher and, you know what I mean, who he's calling, what he's doing with his phone. But I don't know. If he's high functioning, then he may be sitting there by himself and doesn't have anybody to tell. I don't know. That's definitely that's a touchy one there. The whole thing there
and
is touchy because what if the chance is that he's trying to tell us about something that is serious, and it's like the lack of communication and we don't know. And I mean, that's why somebody, I guess I will say that much, and somebody needs to keep a better eye on the young man who just called.
and the countdown, dude. Like that was crazy too. I don't know if you guys heard that, but yeah, that was weird. The whole thing, man. Again, I love you guys' calls, and
Yeah.
Dave,
um
he said Christmas he's not a fan of, which
which
is
is
everybody's prerogative.
I was gonna say that on that same right, it's your choice, your prerogative to not be into it either. It's the same thing. It's a weird, you know
Hold
it's a
on,
weird time of year anyway, you know what I mean, where it feels like people kind of put a monetary value on their friendships and on their family relationships and all that. And if you could just, get rid of that, you know what I mean? And I kind of almost had like an odd solution to it. It'd be like, well, if your problem is that you're buying gifts for people that they're not going to like, per se, because you can't afford to give them something that they're really going to want. And if they really wanted something at the level you could afford, they probably would have already gotten it for them themselves. And hey, man, maybe just go back to the giving cards thing. And if you feel like you put out too much money and don't receive anything that you feel like makes it worth it in return, hey, buy yourself something. Do Christmas cards and buy yourself something reasonable and find a way to get through it. It's not, you figure you take it after the day after Thanksgiving, it's less than 30 days. You know what I mean? Bear with it,
Hey,
one way or the other.
joining us on the air right now is our friend from Michigan, Dave. What's
Hey,
going on?
Dave.
Hey, I just wanted to really quick explain why I do not like Christmas.
Okay.
Me and my family, when we broke up, it was in December.
Oh, I
So
understand
my
that.
last Christmas was like that year with all of my kids and whatever.
Way to bring
And
the family down, man.
so, yeah, me and Dakota have a hard time. We don't celebrate Christmas on Christmas. We do it like a couple weeks or a couple days before, and we basically get drunk on Christmas Day and wait for it to pass.
Okay.
I'm not saying Christmas is bad for everyone. Christmas is just really crappy for me and my boys. So
Yeah.
Dave,
that's why I'm negative on it.
dressed up
But
in
to everyone
priest?
else, God bless you.
Did you get dressed up as a priest, Dave?
Yeah, sure. I sure did. We didn't do the pictures. Dakota wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. But we did give out a lot of candy. It was really cool. We set up the karaoke speaker, played Halloween music out of it. I danced around like an idiot. It was a good time.
Right
Sounds
on,
like a good
right
time.
on.
10, 9,
What is with
8,
on time
seven,
with
There's
it,
the
man?
countdown.
6,
I'm
5,
gonna
Alright,
beat
Dave.
it.
4, 3,
Stay
2,
with us,
Hey,
Dave.
buddy.
1.
Keep going. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say about that, man. So yeah, so we don't ever get trick or treating. We had a little Halloween party right before the show,
Oh, cool.
and we had like Lynn and Sean and Caroline over, and me, Jenny, and Karen, and we have tradition Halloween dinner, which is like hot dogs and sloppy joes and a lot of like little treats around the block, or not around the block, like just we can nibble all day and night. And then we watched Stranger Things. It was Lynn and Caroline's first time watching a couple episodes, and it's like Karen and Jenny's ninth time watching it.
Okay.
So
Me and my daughter have also just started Stranger Things. We maybe watched, I think, 2 episodes, 3 episodes, and after I asked, I says, "Well, what do you think of this?" She's like, "What? Are you kidding? I love it." It's like, so we got to hit there with her, which is important because that's my, holiday time, anytime. So I love spending time with my daughter. We still hang out. I'm lucky as hell because she's 22 and still hangs out with me. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's great. So that's what we do is watch TV more or less, cut up, joke around, have food. You know what I mean? She don't drink, do drugs, none of that shit. Thank goodness, especially if you remember the whole ordeal with the weed cookie. Uh you know, but yeah, that's what we do, and that's the coolest shit. But we just started Stranger Things also. I liked
hey,
it from what I recall. How I said my mind tends to wander, but I did enjoy it. Not what I thought it was going to be, because it was, I don't know. I guess I was expecting something um a little more. I hate to say maybe a little more derivative, and then I started watching it, and we're like 20 minutes in. I was like, oh well, this is its own thing here. This isn't. We keep hearing nostalgia, and I was like, all right, well, this is gonna strike some kind of chords of nostalgia. But I noticed when we were watching this, I was like, nah, this is its own thing. I like it.
Hey, I gotta tell you, Keith.
Yes.
You could see it as well as I do on the screen. Sean's not too happy right now.
Yeah.
Says, I just noticed Scott has a host title over his circle, but you screwed Keith out of his circle title nameplate. Not fair. Just saying. Not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Well, if I
Yeah.
could
Can you
change
can you
that,
give two of
Sean,
those?
if I could change that, I would. But because I started this page, it gives me that title, and I don't know like what Keith is able to do. Yeah, here we go. We got the pity party for Keith.
There you go. That's what I was hoping for anyway. So that was by design.
Right
Scott
on,
offered me
man.
the hostesses. No, I don't want it.
Hey,
I
Sean,
don't
I
need it.
did, show Keith the message that you sent me last night about the shirt that you had an idea for the .05. If you know, you know. So
I could see that written in like like it was binary code. That would be pretty cool, right? If it looked like that was, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, that would be cool
Could you
because
see that?
everybody would definitely be paying attention.
Hmm.
Oh, Keith, Sean now says that you should get a pay raise.
I should double it. You can double it right now, Scott.
Okay, man, you get a double raise. Thanks
Oh,
to Sean out there, man. We are making $0 to
now I make
entertain you
double
guys.
that. We talking
I
about
make
making it.
I make double zero in this building. Uh,
I make double that now.
you tell everybody I got a raise last night and just leave it at that.
Damn right.
Yes, Sean. Now Keith has got a whole lot of nothing. uh, you know, I haven't explained too much about this show, and so we're going to do blunt talk as always. We're going to do Beyond the A side, and for the main topic, there wasn't really one, but Keith threw something at me the other day, and maybe it's just like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing if it's stuck. And generally, if Keith has an idea, we run with it, man. Whether he's, what we didn't talk about it, but so Keith says, on November 1st at 002, monsters and slashers, they go home for the year, right? They don't have no jobs. Well, we're going to flip this around. Keith's going to be the human resources person sitting in the office. I'm going to run by all these monsters, all these slashers. I'm going to give Keith the pros, the cons of every worker and see if we hire them, fire them, uh, redirect their job if they're there, or escort them off the premises.
Mhm.
And doesn't really know anything about what's coming up. And you and I both like that because we get a real reaction. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when we
Live take.
when we when we do start that, everybody that's listening out there, you guys could put in the message: hire, fire, relocate, or escort off premises. And the HR, Mr. Keith Mackey, will take that in consideration. See if it's needed. How's that, Keith?
That sounds good. I've had enough experience dealing with the HR, so it'd be nice to be on the other side of it for once.
Right, right. It always sucks when you're sitting across from them.
Right.
But hey, we're going to take a
But
song break. It's not that long. And when we come back, man, we're going to just jump right into blunt talk. Is that cool, Keith?
absolutely.
All right. So this song is called Midnight Run, and it's by our friends Backseat Saints. Hope you enjoy it.
There's a road that don't appear on maps, runs east of the moon and south of your past. No signs, no lights, just blacktop and whispers. If you hear it calling, don't answer fast. They say the wind remembers every name, every voice that rode through the dark in vain. And if you catch your reflection in the rearview glass, you best not stare too long, you won't like who's looking back. Keep your eyes on the line, don't look to the side. If you see the lantern swinging, just drive. Just drive. There's a woman in white who walks that lane, her dress still wet from the midnight rain. She'll wave you down with a trembling hand, but if you stop, you'll never start again. They say the crows don't cry past mile 24, and the clocks don't tick there anymore. Time just waits by the side of the road, holding its breath for whoever's next to go. Keep your hands on the wheel, don't dare slow down. If you hear your name whispered, don't turn around. Just right. Just right. Some roads don't take you home, some nights don't end at dawn, some ghosts ain't looking to haunt, they're looking for a ride along. So if you find yourself driving past the edge of sand, and the stars start to fade like they're falling down, keep moving, don't pray, don't cry, just let that engine hum your lullaby. Keep your eyes on the line, don't look to the side. If you see the lantern swinging, just drive.
Right, everyone. Again, that was Backseat Saints with Midnight Run. So it's that time again. Hold on, man. I gotta pay attention to what these keys are here. We are going to pass the mic to the only man who can cut through all the noise, all the Halloween bullshit, and tell it like it really is. Keith's back in Toledo, chill as hell, probably kicking back with shades on, some kind of snack, maybe rolling what keeps him relaxed, while the rest of us are over here losing our minds in the dark. Tonight, it's blunt talk, no fluff, no sugarcoating, just real talk about whatever the hell is going on. Life, fights, chaos, and maybe a little UFC chatter too, because let's face it, sometimes the real world feels like a fight card and someone always out there swinging. Since it's Halloween, we're in that weird zone where anything can happen. So here it is, Keith Mackey.
It's time for Blunt Talk. Here's Keith Mackey.
Well, it's another Friday night here in East Toledo. Time for some Blunt Talk. I'm Keith Mackey. Well, what way to celebrate Halloween than starting off with some UFC talk and a nice double eye poke that happened to happen last week where my fight pick record went up to 13-8-1 because I picked 5 fights. I was correct on 2. I was wrong on 2, and then 1 ended in a no contest. And obviously, the eye poke is where the no contest happened between heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall and challenger Cyril Gahn. Now, if you go back last week and listen, I may have picked Tom to win, but the mostly, points that I was making was that how Cyril was a dangerous challenger and that it wasn't going to be a cakewalk and that there's a good chance that if he was going to get it done, he was going to get it done on the ground. Well, they never made it to the ground because the fight ended in the first round after a total Three Stooges eye poke. But, some were saying that they feel that Tom took the easy way out because he thought like he was losing. Now, the fight that I saw didn't necessarily look that way. It looked like they were just starting to get loose. They were just starting to work a little bit. They were just starting to catch that rhythm. Tom was throwing head kicks and spinning round kicks and shit that he doesn't necessarily normally do. Now, I believe the problem with this fight is that people were judging how John Jones did against Cyril Gahn. Now, John Jones went in and put him out in 80 seconds. And, it's kind of unfair to compare the styles, even the time. That was several years ago, so it could be several different versions of Cyril Gahn ago. Now, they keep putting him in these title fights because he is a worthy contender and he would be a worthy champion if he made it. They're not just giving him, these title fights because they're certain that the champion is going to beat him. So, but anyway, with that, we got no result with that. So it's 13-8-1. I guess you might as well just drop the 1 and we'll call it 13-8, because what does a draw matter, or what does a no contest matter when it comes to picks right now? The 2 fights that I did not get correct would have been Mario Bautista versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, I picked Mario because I said Mario continues to prove me wrong. Now, I guess Mario continues to prove me wrong still, because when I thought he was going to win, he did not, which is a bummer, but that's okay. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing him now have a fight with either Corey Sandhagen or even Ayman Zahabi. Would be a good one, to see who moves up and who moves on, especially with Corey Sandhagen just coming off the loss to Merab Dvalishvili. I feel like him and Mario would be a pretty good main event for a fight night, something like that. Now, the other fight that I got wrong was Azamat Murzakanov staying perfect with his record and getting a TKO victory over Alexander Rakic. Now, I picked Rakic to win just because I figured, experience and size and skills, and hey, I'm wrong sometimes. But Murzakanov got the win. Now I wouldn't say anywhere near a title fight, so maybe Khalil Roundtree would be a nice opponent for him next, or even former champ Jamal Hill, Sweet Dreams out of Detroit would be a nice good one for him. Now, those are the fights that I picked wrong. The fights that I picked correctly is Alexander Volkov got the win over Jailton Almeida. Now, that was, I guess, a controversial win, they say, because for the most part, Almeida was on top, but he really wasn't doing on top as far as ground and pound position. He was getting takedowns and just kind of laying on him, whereas Volkov was scoring in, the other scenarios and even doing more from the bottom, which you will from time to time see somebody win a decision basically from having been on their back the whole fight, throwing submissions, throwing elbows.
We apologize for that technical difficulty. It sounds like somebody hit a transformer, like right down the street here, and it kind of knocked the power out. So give us just a minute or two. And all right, Keith, you are back. Mo, you're back.
Can they hear me though? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Huh.
So
That was crazy. That's very Halloweeny, eh?
it sounded like a loud boom down the street. So I don't know if somebody hit a pole and knocked the transformer out. I don't know. I apologize for that.
That was fucking wild.
Dude,
Hey,
this is some kind of crazy shit. What's going
it is
on?
some crazy shit. What a night. So what are we gonna have to put this out as 2, or we're gonna, obviously we can merge it, right?
Yeah, we can merge it, man. And again, I apologize for this technical difficulty. Man, hung up on myself. No. No, it was weird, man. It was like I heard a boom, and then you might even hear it in the replay, but it you started echoing,
Yeah, I didn't hear
like
anything. It just suddenly I saw the sign that said that the podcast had ended. I'm like, what? Okay.
yeah, that's really strange, man. That is really strange. So if you want to pick up where you left off at, man.
Oh, let me see. I think I was talking about who won the fights, but that's okay because it was I only had one left to talk about, and that is my pick, and my girl Mackenzie Dern ended up doing what I predicted and what I said was would be a good thing for the UFC and winning the women's 115-pound title. And again, I believe that's a good thing for the UFC in general because she's a very, very, very well spoken um speaks multi languages, beautiful woman, has a great demeanor about her. You know what I mean? She's not necessarily like I said, like a rugged type, coarse woman that you wouldn't want to hear talk or you wouldn't want to see. You definitely, would want to look at her. She's very nice on the eyes. That's for sure. But again, she's also a very highly skilled, multi-time champion from other sports, which also makes, the sport look great because when they see somebody from their world cross over and do well in the UFC, that makes them want to watch. You know what I mean? That makes them want to compete. And but again, I think it's a good thing that she won the title. I think she's going to be a great representative for the UFC, depending on how they use her. You know what I mean? But they could use her as coach for the Ultimate Fighter. Anything. You know what I mean? But I believe she is again a very, very great representative, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go from here because they can kind of have her sit around like they do some of her champions. I'm not saying, not suggesting not have her fight right away, but they can kind of milk the media machine with her for quite a while. And I think she's going to do good. It's going to be well. Now, that whole shit threw me off. Now on to this week's card. This week is one of those if you know cards, in that it's a very good card for the diehard fans. And this is one of them cards that if you look at this very same card a year from now, you might think, wow, that was a pretty stacked card. But at the moment, all these fighters are kind of on their way up, and none of them have like a necessarily a huge name, as far as like a marquee player, at the moment, you know what I mean? But that's definitely on the way for several of them. And then the main event, it is David Onama versus Steve Garcia, two very sounding name guys, but at the 145-pound weight division. And I was kind of questioning this as a main event until I did a little bit of research on both of these guys, and I see that Onama is coming off a big win off Giga Jikazi, who either challenged for the title or at least I think was in a title eliminator. And Steve Garcia is coming off a big win off another fighter named Calvin Kattar, who's pretty standard in the division. I wouldn't call him a gatekeeper, but usually the people who get a win past Kattar, they do pretty well afterwards. Now in this fight, Onama is a bit of a wild striker, knockout guy, whereas Garcia, I believe, is more of a technician, kind of keeps it basic, but that's what gets it done, and I believe that's what is going to get it done this time. So I see Garcia taking more than likely a decision win. Unless maybe, I don't know, Onama gets tired later, but that's how I see that one going. And also on the card, there's a lot of names. There ain't necessarily a lot of, huge jump off the page fighters, but there's a lot of names that you can enjoy later, as bigger stars. And, like I said, watch them now and kind of catch them on their way up. There's a guy by the name of Charles Radke who got a funny nickname of Chuck Buffalo. So, that's a good one. He's a interesting dude when you get him on the mic. You know what I mean? You give Chuck Buffalo the mic, he's going off and he's going to throw some cuss words around. In the co-main event, two heavyweights, Ante Delia versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Now, Ante Delia is the training partner of Tom Aspinall, heavyweight champion. And recently, Tom said if it got to the point where Ante was going to fight for the title, he would retire and let Ante have his run as the champion. Now, I don't know if this is so much of doing Ante a favor. And I'm not sure, if this fight was booked before or after those comments were made, because that's not anything Dana White ever wants to hear, is that one guy doesn't want to fight another guy because they're friends. You know what I mean? They're in a business, and that's how they make their money, and that's how he chooses to do it. And if they can't give him his marquee fight because they're just choosing not to, I don't know, that bothers him. Whereas it's, an honorable thing to do for them, among, I guess, their ranks as fighters and as the whatever the code is among, the other fighters. But as far as the business type people, they don't care for that. And I think even saying that is going to kind of put unnecessary attention on Ante Delia that he didn't ask for per se. He wasn't the one that said he wasn't going to fight Tom if he won. Tom was the one who said he wasn't going to fight him. Now, is the UFC going to purposely throw him killers, which, they should be doing anyways, but are they going to try and throw him purposely bad matchups to get him out of the way, whereas Tom kind of sits comfortably at the top, like, oh, well, that's a bummer you never made it up there. But it's like, they may have done that had they not, had that statement not been made, you know what I mean? And so in that fight, I believe Ante Delia gets the job done. And so that will be my fight picks for this upcoming card, which will be Steve Garcia and Ante Delia both getting it done by decision. Now, there's, again, some other interesting fights on that card. A fella by the name of Cedricus Dumas, who has had a hard time making it to the cage because he's had 13 or more felonies. Where he's had ankle monitors and things like that on him, whereas he's not been able to travel to the fights because of that. He's fighting a kid with an interesting name, Dante Johnson. So he'll be fighting Don Johnson, making his actual UFC debut when he just got a UFC contract from the Contender Series with a pretty slick knockout, and he's one to watch. So I guess we'll make a third pick, and I'm going to say Dante Johnson gets it done in that fight. And I believe that'll probably wrap up all the UFC talk. And something that I guess kind of goes into UFC, but not necessarily, is UFC sort of related. But I guess Ronda Rousey was recently on a podcast with Bert Kreischer, and Joe Rogan came up. And Ronda had made the comment that, well, Joe's not an expert when it comes to fighting. He's a fan with an audience. Now, I'm sure the first thing Joe Rogan is going to say is yeah, you're right. I'm not an expert. I don't remember him ever really claiming, to be an expert. And I honestly don't think Ronda's comments was even necessarily directed at Joe Rogan, but it's, kind of directed at the people who have made Joe Rogan their authority on MMA when it comes to especially people like her who have actually been practitioners, have got in there, made the fights, made weight, got punched in the face, these kind of things, whereas he didn't. And whereas I'm saying, I don't really think, again, Ronda's problem is with Joe. It's with people's perception of Joe, which he didn't necessarily ask, to be put in that kind of pedestal. And you find that, other places in life, and other, situations in life where, somebody is kind of popular, amongst people that you're around, and you take an attitude, or people take an attitude towards this person because other people like them. Whereas they haven't really made their own truthful fucking judgment on how this person actually is. They just don't like that other people like them. So it's your problem isn't with the person. Your problem is with the people who are, putting him in this pedestal. Now, in this kind of case, somebody like Bert Kreischer, Joe Rogan is an expert on fighting to him. He doesn't know a lot of other fighters. He's not in the room training with other people to where, when he's getting his opinions, he's not getting his opinions from other other UFC fighters. He's getting his opinions from comedians. You know what I mean? And Rogan happens to be the guy most immersed in that circle, So I kind of feel like that's an unfair comment. Not necessarily from, Ronda, unfair towards Rogan, but unfair towards the people, again, who put him in that place. You know what I mean? They don't know any better. You know what I mean? As far as they know, he does know the most, and they don't know her, so they can't ask her what she fucking thinks. They only know what he thinks because he's the one on the radio every day. He's the one doing the podcast, So I believe that one was a little bit misdirected, you know what I mean? And with that, I believe I've stumbled through that one enough. And back to you, Scott. Let me know what you think of that, even.
It's throwing me off, man, because I got to remember what the last time was, because our whole show doesn't start back over on time, and I don't want this to happen to us again. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Yeah.
And I'm being informed as we were talking, man, by Sean, that he's hearing low rumble voices talking as we're talking.
Really?
Yeah, what is going on with the show today, man?
It's Halloween, buddy.
You know,
It's-
Ronda
it's-
Rousey,
it's-
she's burning her bridge no matter where she's at, whether it's at WWE, whether it's at UFC. You know, if you can't do something no more, you don't have to tear down the people that are still doing it.
Right. And of course, what's the easiest way, to get yourself talked about is you find the most popular person and you say something shitty about them. But I think honestly, between the two of them, there's probably there come a point where Rogan had to give, his buddies is in there. Well, what do you think? What do you think, Joe? What do you think, Joe? And then he give his, honest assessment of where he thinks she would be if she decided to come back, and she probably didn't like it. You know what I mean? Probably didn't care for it. And again, that's not, I guess it's not his fault, that the other people see him in a way that she doesn't care for. That's he didn't do that. They did that.
Right. It's just like when she's on WWE and she's
Hurting
doing her
people,
thing.
right?
She's blaming like Vince McMahon doing this and that. Well, Vince don't have anything to do with the company no more. So, it's a whole different monarchy.
Yeah.
And you can't blame Vince no more. I mean, you still walked away. So, but we're going to take a little pause, man, to get one of our sponsors in here and another song by the Backseat Saints. And when we return, Keith's going to drop Beyond the A side. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
It's back to school time. Let Sticking Together by JK on Etsy add something special to your new season. Show pride with car decals, labeled dorm and school supplies, or organized totes with all your free time. Whatever you need, Sticking Together by JK on Etsy is your one-stop shop for personalization and decor needs.
There's a jack-o'-lantern grin in every window tonight. The street lights flicker under pale moonlight. You can hear a whisper through the autumn air. Someone's laughing but no one's there. Shadows on Main Street come out to play, dancing with the lost till they fade away. Keep that candle burning, don't let it die. When the ghosts come walking, just close your eyes. A black cat crosses and the clock strikes 10. The wind says something, it's here again. Same old stories our grand folks told about a night like this when the grave gets cold. Shadows on Main Street come out to play, dancing with the lost till they fade away. Keep that candle burning, don't let it die. When the ghosts come walking, just close your eyes. We ride through the dark with the headlights low, past the signs where the cold winds blow. There's laughter in the cornfield, whispers in the pines, and something in the mirror that don't look like mine. Shadows on Main Street, sing Keep that candle burning, don't let it die. When the ghosts come walking, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. The saints roll by.
All right.
And we're off.
Wow. It's that time to flip the record and go beyond the A side tonight. Being Halloween, the air's thick with shadows, the streets are quiet, or maybe just quiet enough to make you hear things you shouldn't. Like this show. Keith's about to take us into the deep cuts, the hidden tracks, the stuff that makes you stop and think, or laugh, or sometimes shiver a little. All the music you didn't know you needed. He got the uncanny knack for finding the stories behind the songs, the bizarre, the beautiful, and the occasionally spooky. The stuff that fits tonight perfectly. So grab a drink, settle in, and get ready to hear what's been hiding on the flip side. Keith, take it away and let's go beyond the A side.
Flip the wax, turn it over, beyond the A side, where the midnight rover, digging deep cuts, yeah, the freaks collide. Keith's got the sound from the other side.
Okay, for you lovers of sound, it is Beyond the A Side, your weekly B side from the streets of the East Side. And with it being Halloween and everyone getting into their costumes, I figured what better way to take on a costume than wearing a musical costume by pulling a cover song. And this week I got an interesting cover song album, which is the John Lennon tribute album for fans of John Lennon. And it's called Working Class Hero, and it came out in, I believe, the mid-90s, something like that. Yeah, definitely the mid-90s. But had a lot of great rock and roll bands. I'm not going to necessarily name off every song. I'm just going to name you the few that I feel are my favorite on that album, because I used to listen to that one quite a bit. First off, and first song on the album is the Red Hot Chili Peppers covering I Found Out, which is was from the Dave Navarro era where he was still on the guitar for them. And it starts out with a nice wah guitar and Anthony Kiedis singing. I guess if you're a fan of John Lennon, some of these songs that they did weren't necessarily his hits. That's what I thought was a really cool thing about this particular cover album, was because the guy who was, I guess you would call him, the curator? Is that what that would be? The curator for the album, the guy who got all the bands together, instead of just having like a list of John Lennon's biggest hits and then having whatever the biggest band he could do, the biggest hit, he went the other way and he took it to the bands and let them decide what song they would like to do. And I believe most of the bands picked some, I guess what would be, a little more of some B-sides and some obscure ones. But so again, the Red Hot Chili Peppers did I Found Out, which is a great song by the Chili Peppers and another great song by John Lennon. And another great one comes from the Screaming Trees, Seattle staples, grunge staples, and the late, great Mark Lanegan does the title cut to this tribute album, Working Class Hero. And if you know that one, it's a mellow acoustic one. And it's a great John Lennon song. That's a little more of a popular one from him. But Lanegan does it, I would say, possibly the most justice of any of the cover versions on this. It's just so haunting. And just, his voice is very good for that, especially, if you're into Halloween, you listen to some Lanegan, he's definitely got a spooky tone to his voice. And some of the true gems to me on this, one of them being Mad Season, the great Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, and the side project that he had with Mike McCready from Pearl Jam and Barrett Martin and another guy that, of course, I can't remember his name, John something or other. But they did a great song called I Don't Want to Be a Soldier, which is another great John Lennon song, another less popular one. But anything with Lane Staley on it is pretty killer. And they also did that on the Live at the Moore Theater concert that I just saw went up on YouTube in some high quality. So I'll probably be watching that one after the show because that's a great concert. And it's a great track. And again, it's a great cover. And anything, again, you can get with Lane Staley on it. I know some pretty hardcore, Alice in Chains and Lane Staley fans that aren't necessarily familiar with that song. That's one that kind of was lurking, but that's what we do here on Beyond the A Side. I mean, we expose those to the light and let you know so you can hear them and enjoy them like they should be heard. And lastly, one of my favorite all-time singers, Scott Weiland from the Stone Temple Pilots and Velvet Revolver, had another short-lived side project band called the Magnificent Bastards. And on this particular tribute album, they did a song called How Do You Sleep, which is another great John Lennon song, which is allegedly was kind of a swipe at Paul McCartney. So I guess it was like a diss track, a Beatle diss track, if one ever, happened to exist. So that'd be an interesting one to check out from John Lennon. But this particular one from the Magnificent Bastards, Weiland just, I don't know what to say. He fucking lets loose on this one, and he just gives some blood-curdling fucking screams in the middle of it. And it's, if you like kind of when he goes up into his higher register and is more, it's like, I don't know, sometimes to me it sounds like he's going almost into like a Def Leppard, kind of register without the slick pop sheen on it. But if you like Scott Weiland like I do, which I'm a huge fan, I got to meet him once, and it wasn't necessarily the greatest of, the greatest of meetings, but that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He's still, what's important is, his music is what I enjoy, and I still to this day get to enjoy his music. So there's some other great songs on that particular tribute album. Cheap Trick does a song. Sponge from Detroit does a great song. They do Isolation, as well as the Flaming Lips do a pretty decent version of Nobody Told Me. But the ones, again, that I like the most are the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I Found Out, the Screaming Trees, Working Class Hero, and Mad Season with the great Lane Staley doing I Don't Want to Be a Soldier, and Magnificent Bastards with the great Scott Weiland doing How Do You Sleep. And those are my Beyond the A-Side B-Sides for this week. And I'll tell you what, I'll even give you one more. If you look up the Magnificent Bastards, they did another song called Mockingbird Girl, and those are the two songs, the only two known songs that I know that were ever released from that band. And they're both, I mean, just, fuzzy pop singles, and it's a fucking great listen, and I suggest you try it. And with that, back to you, Scott.
You're listening to The Powers Point After Dark.
I have no clue, dude.
Apparently Monica needed to chime in.
Hey, you know what? Keith, I gotta ask all you listeners out there, man, with everything that's going on with the quick interruption of this show, I'm not feeling down. You feeling down?
No.
You know what I feel?
I have a feeling.
I feel good. Damn right, JB. I'm feeling good. I'm talking about the godfather of soul, James Brown. That never gets old, man.
No, it does not. It does not get old. It's the hardest working man in show business there.
So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, get your chair and get your suit on for HR, and let's do this. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Attention, all knife enthusiasts and metal lovers. At Motley Forge, we specialize in handcrafted knives, cleavers, swords, and more. We also make jewelry, bracelets, pendants, and keychains. Each piece is meticulously crafted by Johnny himself, with attention to detail and top-notch quality. Whether you're a collector or looking for a unique gift, Motley Forge has got you covered. Our collection features a diverse range of designs from sleek and modern to rustic and traditional. So check out the one-of-a-kind gifts at Motley Forge, a bladesmith and blacksmith out of Northwest Indiana. Follow him on Instagram at Motley_Forge. Motley Forge, creating art through an ancient craft.
Well, looking up at the clock, I see Halloween is over, but the show's still going. It is now November 1st. Halloween's over. The candy's gone. And the pumpkins are collapsing under their own goo.
No.
But the chaos isn't finished. Today, November 1st, creatures from last night's nightmares, or just a few hours ago, wherever you are lining up for the unemployment office looking for day jobs. Keith, who is in charge of HR tonight, he'll figure out what they're good at, what they totally suck at, and what kind of questionable office behavior we can tolerate. We've got night shift specialists, chaos makers, and a few that probably shouldn't be in the same room together. So grab some leftover candy if you got any, maybe keep a baseball bat handy, and let's see who gets hired, who gets fired, who gets escorted off the premises, or if Keith wants to redirect them to a different job. And
I do have a baseball bat handy. That's funny you say that.
see, man, I figured you would.
I can see it from where I'm sitting.
Figured you would. So, I wrote these names down, man, and I put them on Notepad, and unfortunately, Notepad is is like loading up to show me the stupid Candy Crush games that I keep turning down.
Uh-oh.
So, just bear with me a second. I mean, why should anything work at the moment, right?
Right. It's that kind of night. That's okay though. That's why anything can happen here. You know what I mean? It says it in the title track, right?
If anything happens, it happens here.
You never know what you'll hear.
Here we go. Sorry. Okay. Let's start with the classic monsters.
Okay.
You at your desk, man?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this gentleman, he filled out his application, man. He says his pros are charismatic, persuasive, great at networking. His cons? He only wants to work at night. He's allergic to sunlight and refuses office dress code. His questionable actions? He refuses to attend morning meetings, sneaks out for blood breaks, critiques the fluorescent lights. Mr. Dracula, come in for Mr. Mackey.
Yeah, see, right off the bat, I hate to generalize, but the Dracula types, you tend to spend too much time trying to chat up the women. So maybe
Right
that's
off
not
the bat.
maybe an office setting isn't for you. Maybe we need to find him I don't know, something more like on the sales floor. You know what I mean? Being that persuasive, being able to talk things into it, I definitely think a career in sales is his ideal move.
Right on. Hey, Ava, she said she's got to go real fast, Mr. Mackey.
She's already gone.
Well, I just still want to say, if she listens to the replay, thank you for joining us. It was an
Yeah,
honor.
thank you for coming back.
All right. Mr. Mackey,
Yes, sir.
I sent Dracula on his way. You said just put him out on the floor. Sales, right? You said?
I mean, he's a very persuasive gentleman, so I think he could definitely move some merchandise. You know what I mean? Putting him in any kind of like a clerical position, I think would be a mistake. You know what I mean? Or anything of that sort. I definitely, you got to put him speaking to the people. You know what I mean? As long as it's at night. I mean, can you imagine how many cars, if he were a car salesman, how many cars he could sell if he had, if he opened and closed only in the dark? You know what I'm saying? That's when people tend to make those type of decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Dracula car, you know what I mean? Whatever, Dracula automotive sounds good to me.
Dracky's
Right.
Vets. All right. So he's out there. Our next gentleman, or I don't even know what this person is. He is pros. He's strong, dependable, shows up on time. Great. Cons. He breaks off his equipment. Poor fine motor skills. Not good at paperwork. His questionable actions. He lifts the copiers like a dumbbell. Accidentally smashes office chairs and eats staplers. I'm talking about Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, see, the most important part was probably the first part you said, and that he shows up every day. And that's what you need. So I would think, the fine motor skills and the, that kind of thing. I don't know. Do we need security at this building? I would maybe put him at the front door.
Right on. Or if a forklift breaks, maybe he can use that super strength to lift up stuff.
This is true. This is true.
So
But
we'll
I think
start.
he'd be equally as strong as the forklift, right? But I think the forklift is more about the rate, the width in
The,
its in the weight on
um,
what it can grab. He probably wouldn't be able to grab as much with his hands, but I could definitely see him. Working the door, especially being someone who goes to the dispensaries a lot. It's pretty important who you see at the door. If you see somebody at the door that looks like a scrub, you know what I mean? You're going to get people acting up. Now, if you see somebody like Frankenstein's monster, they show up at the door, they're going to know to show some class and respect.
this is true, man. Okay, so we got Dracula on the sales floor. We got Frankenstein's monsters at the door security. Our next gentleman, his pros are excellent night shift worker, very loyal, strong. His cons, hair everywhere, unpredictable moods, destructive on full moons. His questionable actions, he howls at HR, chews on furniture, and sheds in the break room. I'm talking about the werewolf.
Yeah, see, he's probably, I would say he might be the most difficult one to place. Because with his all his the strength and everything like that he would need. I don't really know where you would what you would find for him. Now he might be great like a floor leader if we had a like a warehouse. You know what I mean? Or something of that nature. You know what I mean? I can imagine he could run somewhere with a concrete floor that was easily sweepable. You know what I mean? But you definitely wouldn't want to put him anything in an office setting, because the figure with that hair, he's gonna get it everywhere. It's gonna make for a lot of mess.
All right. What happens if we have him just work in the daytime? So far, we got some night workers.
As his normal self, yeah. As the yeah.
Yeah, but does he lose his strength? It's never been covered.
I guess yeah. I guess it would depend on his education then. At that point, was his legitimate qualifications, huh?
Let me tell you, Mr. Talbot is a smart guy. All right.
Okay.
So we'll throw him out there. We'll throw him in the iffy bin.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back to him. We'll come back.
You
Right?
always need a grunt, right? You always need somebody to do them jobs that that you would put a temp on otherwise.
Right. Maybe. Well, I was going to say throw him in the mail room, but he'd probably rip it all up.
Yeah.
How about this, man? Our next gentleman is great at observation. He's unobtrusive and stealthy. His cons, he can't physically do tasks. He's easy to forget and impossible to track. He borrows office supplies, hides in plain sight, never signs paperwork. I'm talking about the Invisible Man.
Oh, he clearly goes into management. You know what I mean? He clearly goes. I would say that he clearly goes into the office, into the the upper management type of. You know what I mean? He's the kind of guy that does. What do they call those? The ones that come in and let me see, get things running more efficient. You know what I mean? Like your efficiency experts and whatnot. That's the guy, because especially if nobody can see him, then they're not gonna you know how it is. When there's eyes on you, then they work the hardest, and when there's not, they tend to slack off. He's going to see it as it really is. So yeah, I believe that's where you put the Invisible Man, is in the efficiency department and some form of management. Some form of how do you call that? Quality control.
He lays the law down, and you don't even know he's there.
Yeah, exactly. You can't can't argue with him. He's there.
Because when people
He could be there during the getting the reprimand. They could not know he's there the whole time and be like, well, he didn't see it. And then suddenly you hear from the side, like he was, the lucid, piping in from the edge. Be like, no, that's a cornucopia. And he's like, oh shit, is that the Invisible Man said that?
Hey, real fast, watch saying that word, lucid. We all know what happens, and we'll lose Sean if that person comes back in the room.
Right.
All right, our next person here applying for a job. His pros: he's strong, durable, can handle messy jobs. His cons: he leaves water, mud trails, destructive, smells bad. Questionable acts: he floods the lobby, makes vines grow on desk, tracks swamp sludge indoors. Talking about the swamp thing.
Yeah, I believe you put this man in a power washing division. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got your trucks coming in and out. You know, you have your building, you have your whatnot. You know, power washing is actually a pretty fun job. I did that for a short time in my early 20s, and I worked at the local truck wash here, and I loved it, man. It was just like, I don't know, it was like painting or something like that. You know, I love using the power washes, but I do believe that could be a very lucrative field for him. Especially, it seems like, there's a lot of YouTubers now that tend to do the power washing, and they're getting pretty popular. So I could easily see him doing that. You know what I mean? And throw a little star quality, you know what I mean, to it when you go out and hit the spots. You know what I mean? They get to meet a mini celebrity, get their
Yeah,
things, power washed. I like it. You know what I mean?
not
Branching off,
everybody gets
getting divisions here. You know what I mean? Powers Point, power washing. Come on.
powers wash.
All
Uh,
right.
I call that every day when I get in the shower. All right. Our next person trying to get a job, her pros: dramatic, attention grabbing, good for PR. Cons: she sets off alarms, over dramatic, and emotional. She likes the smoke effects in HR meetings, storms out of interviews, locks herself in filing cabinets. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Frankenstein's bride.
Wow. Wow. See, I don't know. I think she sounded great all the way up until that point. All the way up until the last point. But I don't know. I don't see why we couldn't have her, in the office unless she doesn't mesh too well with Monica. You know what I mean? End up causing a little bit of a tiff there between them, and then some shit goes off. You know what I'm saying? cause the husband to bring in, and somebody decides to light up one of their blunts around it, and then suddenly they ain't got a head no more.
Hey, for those listening, when
She's
we
got a
say
great hairdo too.
Monica, when we say Monica, if you know, you know. And
Mm.
so our next employee, or not employee, but person trying to get a job, strong, outdoor friendly, intimidating security. His cons: too big for office furniture, clumsy indoors. His questionable action: he breaks chairs, sits on desks by accident, steps on office plants. He is the king of hide and seek. Bring in Bigfoot.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I think the fact that all he does is hide all day. We those employees are the worst, are they not? You know what I mean? The kind that just disappear, and they show up at the end. They show up at the beginning of the day to punch in, and then show up at the end of the day to punch out. So sorry to say, buddy, if there was one, I know this was what: hire, fire, replace, or escort out. I'm afraid Sasquatch may be getting escorted out. Hopefully we got some cameras involved there.
Like, I'm not HR, but I was going to say put him with Frankenstein's monster out there for some double security, and ain't nobody messing with us.
This is true, but then if what he does is, if he they show up and the only one there is Frankenstein's monster, he's gonna be pissed. He's pulling all the weight.
All right, our next what's the word I'm looking for, man? I want to say our next
Applicant.
our next applicant.
Yeah.
His pros are: he's silent, patient, persistent. Cons: terrifying presence and non-communicative. Questionable actions: he stands in the corner staring, refuses to talk to coworkers, and shows up unannounced. Here is Michael Myers.
Oh wow. See, that to me, that sounds like a VP if there ever was one. You know what I mean? The fact that he just shows up, nobody ever actually talks to this man. He's just always kind of there lurking. You know what I mean? You definitely don't want to go talk to him, because it's going to be
Yeah.
detrimental to your career and possibly anything else. So I can see that. He's like the highest dude that he doesn't own the place, but he's still the most important company-wise guy who shows up at the building, you know? Like, you ever see that? Like, you ever see when, like, the district manager is at Burger King and it's, like, dead silent in there? It's like, what the hell's going on in there? And you see some dude, he's got a different colored shirt on than the rest of the kids. It's like, oh, I get it. Is that fucking corporate district manager? And you got one of them fucking, like loosely nod their head in secret at you. Like, oh, okay, I get it. So that's what I kind of see from Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Being the lurker, you know?
All right. Our next candidate, he's strong, persistent, shows up every day. Cons, he breaks furniture, he's scary, and he's unapproachable. His questionable actions, he destroys swivel chairs, haunts parking lots, knocks over filing cabinets. Talking about Jason Voorhees.
Okay. See, he's, I guess, a little tamer. You know what I mean? Slightly, right? You know what I mean? Everybody, tell you what, people don't care for the chairs in there, do they? So we might have to have one of them standing desks, you know, kind of places, because everywhere we bring in seems to get offended by the chair and want to break the shit, you know?
Everybody's going to be sitting on the floor, right?
Right. Absolutely. Or, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Our next candidate, he is creative, imaginative, imaginative, works, dream shifts. Cons, he only works at night, he's manipulative, and he's creepy. His questionable actions, he screams in cubicles, invades HR dreams, that's you, buddy, pranks coworkers in sleep mode. I'm talking about Freddy Krueger.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. No, we need him. Absolutely. That's the kind of dude that you get. That's the kind of motivator, you know what I mean, you need right there. You need him walking around as like the floor manager kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure the type. That's your true motivator there. Whereas I feel like Dracula's the salesman. You know what I mean? No, you need Freddy Krueger over shoulders constantly. You know what I mean? Occasionally putting one of them fucking knife hands, you know what I mean, on the shoulder and kind of doing the little strumming on the shoulder like that, letting you know. No, that's the kind of guy you want. You know.
Right on. I still got a long line of people, man. If you're still wanting to check these guys out,
As long as if I'm familiar with them, I'll at least do my best.
Our next contestant or candidate, he's strong, fast, good with heavy equipment. Cons, he overkill tendencies, terrifying, loud. His questionable act, he keeps bringing chainsaws to work, cuts office plans, scares mailroom staff. I'm talking about Mr. Leatherface.
Oh my goodness. Well, that right there, I'd say his, you put him in textiles, absolutely. You take him and what's his name, Pinhead. You take is right, Pinhead from I don't know if he's gonna be one of them, but I'm assuming, you know what I mean, they're all gonna be unemployed. So I'm saying, yeah, you take Leatherface and Pinhead and you put them in the textile department, and I believe you're gonna get some fine garments coming out of that factory.
You know, it's weird that you say that because he he was next. He's
Was he
detail
next? Okay.
oriented. He's detail oriented, disciplined, organized. His cons, he's obsessive and extremely scary. Questionable actions, impales office supplies, corrects everyone obsessively, runs painful team meetings.
Causes old ladies to hit guys with hammers. That's my favorite part of that movie, is where the first one is where the old lady comes and hits the guy in the head with the hammer, and it's like it just bounces off his head. The first one, like, it's not even supposed. You know what I'm saying? It's like the second one that gets him. Have you ever seen that scene? It's
Yes.
like the lady comes in, yeah, she cracks him in the head. The first hammer just bounces off his head. It's like, oh shit, that looked like it hurt. But yeah, that's what I could see. I could see Pinhead being very, very great in the textile department, especially with Leatherface. Those guys be a heck of a team.
And our last candidate, pros, determined and strong personality. Cons, possessed, unpredictable, and messy. Questionable action, spews vomit on forms, levitates in meetings, and yells obscenities. Come on in, Regan McNeil from Exorcist.
Oh my goodness. I'm afraid she might have to be another one, because that one's going to need way too many personal days. You know what I mean? That one's gonna have, she's gonna take full advantage of the whole needing a mental health day. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the one right there. That's not one you want in your business. And really, sick all the time. I work with people who were like that.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. It's not a good person to hire, especially if you can avoid them uh in the initial stage. You know what I mean? It's one thing once you got them in and then you can't get rid of them because they're sick. Then it's another thing if you're like, well, you should have mentioned this. Do you have any particular health issues or anything? And most people they're gonna be like, no, 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 no. If I have any kind of problem, it's that I work far too hard. You know what I mean? And then they get the job and a week later they're like, fuck this place. So
Right, right.
I could see that with the Exorcist girl. You know what I mean? She'd be like, well, I can't come. I'm sick. Too many sick days. You know what I mean? She's going to run through them way too quick.
Hey, I'm
This
getting
this coming from
a
a person who has a similar stomach,
I'm getting a message now from this radio show that we got 6 minutes left. So what I'm going to do is just tell everybody thank you. Thank you for listening to us again. Thank you for joining us on Halloween. Thank you for this craziness that's happening tonight, whether we're shutting down, because some dumbasses, and I really hope that sound is in the air. And we're going to get this taken care of and splice them together, and we will put them up there. It's the Transformers, Sean. Like, it had to be, man. The guy hit the pole and it just disrupted the internet. So, Keith, man,
Yeah,
it's as always. It's great just hanging out with you and hanging out with.
absolutely. This has been wild, man. This has been interesting. That's good though. You know what I mean?
I
That's correct. Well, I mean, it's good. It's an interesting show. And yeah, we are supposed to have 3 hours. I don't know what happened to that either, Sean.
yeah. So real fast, real fast. Over the last week, I showed you, Keith. We have
Yeah,
picked up some new countries. Just I think 2 weeks ago we were at 1.1 thousand downloads, which is really good for how long we've been on this. But now we're up to 1.4 and still going. And we picked up new countries: Romania, Argentina, United Kingdom, Morocco, Nicaragua, Turkey, Norway. That gives us 20 countries that we're in now. And it's all thanks to you guys. And then we
yeah.
picked up a couple extra states. We are North Carolina, Florida, Delaware. Uh, that brings us up to 28, I think. So I really appreciate each and every one. Keep spreading the word. And I sound like a broken record, but I fucking don't care. I appreciate each and every one of you, whether you're listening to live, whether you no, Sean, it's Optimus Prime. Not. But all right, we're going to play one last song, and we are out of here until next week.
All right.
We
Happy
will.
Halloween, everybody. We'll see you soon.
All right, you guys have a good one. And fuck, I'm going to get kicked off. But hey,
Ah.
if you guys have any show ideas, go to powerspointpodcast@yahoo.com. In the subject line, put Powers Point After Dark idea. We'll get to it. No religion, no politics, because we don't care about it. We're not experts, and we don't want to start family fights because there's enough of that noise in the world already.
Absolutely.
But here we go, guys. This one's called Chair by the Digital Table, because I always said that. Here we go.
Yeah, 2300, boys.
The humness.
secrets we've never told. Binary blood in electric veins, haunting the heart of the mainframe. You came looking for truth tonight. You found us hiding in the bite. We don't haunt, we rewrite fate from beyond the screen. It's never too late. The door is open. Step through the light. There's a chair by the table in the endless night. Your name's been waiting. We're synchronized. Welcome to the society. We're ghost digitized. Sit down, log in. The code remembers once you're here, you're part of forever. Static whispers your name in code. Welcome home.